Um, Hello to everyone, and welcome in to episode 3 of Bonfire Banter. Super excited, and honestly, watching this grow has really been a lot more than I thought it was going to be. Like, when I first posted about it in the Discord, I was like, okay, maybe I'll have like 2 people interested, and like, that'll be it. And then now it's just like people, this is episode 3, and our first episode we have 5 guests, and the next episode we had 4, and then today we have 5 again, and it's been really amazing to like watch it grow and watch it continue. For anyone who's new here, this series is all about bringing together Souls players, Souls-like players, and content creators to talk about our experiences, the chaos, and lessons we've learned along the way. Lots of different types of questions. I mix it up with like funny, spicy debates, and while trying to keep things all spoiler free. Each episode features a new group of seasoned players, so that is our group today. And everyone brings their own perspectives, so I can't wait to share and see what like this group brings. And before we jump into questions, we're just gonna go around, tell us your name, a little bit about you, and as you're doing that, I'm gonna get Stream Together all set up so that way your viewers, your community can also get the notification that we're doing things. So, and we're just gonna go around. So we're gonna start with AJ, then we'll go to Goose and Draco, Umber, and then Mello.
Cool. Yeah, so my name is AJ. I'm a new firekeeper. I think I got left. I joined in on the last round of applicants. Everywhere on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram is it's AJX. Again, you just call me AJ. Often get confused with Ajax because of the X at the end of my name. And the whole reason I did that is because, it's AJ was already taken. So I am forever cursed with sometimes being a soap dish, or like dish soap. So that's just what I what I have to deal with sometimes. So, but yeah, relatively. I'd say not necessarily inexperienced. I mean, I've played a handful of Souls games: Bloodborne, Elden Ring, Dark Souls, Dark Souls 2. If you want to consider the Star Wars Jedi games, Dark Souls, or like a Souls type, and a couple others. And currently playing through Dark Souls 3. So.
I know I'm very guilty about anytime you come into chat, I'm like, Ajax! So
I know.
I live through that personally with you, and I'm just like, I feel called out, but it's okay.
No, it's fine. I'm just like, a little bit dies, but that comes with the territory of having that X behind there. So
I get it. Thank you so much for telling us a little bit about you.
Yep.
And on to our next.
Oh, me? Yeah. Okay. Hi, I'm sorry. I was trying to figure out Stream Together. My name's Anna. I go by Crazy Gray Goose. Mostly people just call me Goose all around Twitch. And Crazy Gray Goose is the same name all across the board on every single social platform. I play all kinds of games from Souls-likes to cozy games like Stardew Valley and The Sims. I'm currently playing Hollow Knight Silksong, which has been really ragey, but really fun. Yeah, so I've played every Souls game except for Demon Souls and Sekiro. So yeah, that's me. I stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. So
Awesome. Love it. On to Draco or Killer Draco. Do you have a preference of the two?
Well, just call me Draco, actually. And there's a story for that, because I pronounce it with the short A sound so that people will stop asking me if it's associated with a certain wizard franchise that I no longer associate with in any way, shape, or form.
Totally valid. Thank you for
not
letting
even
me know.
The origin of the name anyway, so it's like, yeah. Fun fact, my username actually comes from my pet bearded dragon, who unfortunately passed away, but now all my channel brand is all bearded dragon theme, emotes, avatar, etc. But yeah, I've been playing Souls games ever since 2021. The fun fact is I actually never touched Dark Souls prior because I thought it looked very slow and clunky and I didn't think I would enjoy it. But I had done Hollow Knight on stream. I did a Steel Soul run, which for those who are not familiar is a permadeath run. So if you die, then it's game over and you have to restart. And since I did that completely 112% on stream, people said, "Oh, hey, you should play Dark Souls," and made it a community challenge. And the rest is history. Then I played every single Souls game, all the Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro, Elden Ring. Started branching into Souls likes with Mortal Shell, Another Crab's Treasure, Lies of P, Code Vein, and started doing challenge runs too, doing level 1 runs of pretty much every game, except for Bloodborne, because for some reason that one is level 4 for the lowest run, not level 1. Still don't know why that is, but... So yeah, I've had my fair share of both the core Souls games, Souls likes, and challenge runs as well.
Very nice. And thank you again for correcting and letting me know like what is the proper way to say your name.
Not a problem.
I appreciate it. On to Umber.
Hi, I'm Umber or Amber, and a lot of people have really taken to calling me Glue, which is fine too. So any of that is like totally cool. Let's see. If I could describe myself in 3 games right now, I would pick Dark Souls, Peak, and RuneScape 3. I play a lot of RuneScape 3. Not like much old school, but yeah, the other side of things. And I know that probably upsets a lot of people that know about RuneScape, but that's okay. And then let's see, I've played all of the Souls games except for Sekiro. I have not played Sekiro. I watched my husband play it, but I didn't play it. But I prefer Dark Souls 1, I think, over all of the others. Yeah.
I too prefer Dark Souls 1 over all the others, but that's the only one I have any experience playing. So
I think it's the best one, and it's also, my husband and I played it when we started dating when we were in college, so it's like special spot.
There's like sentimental value.
For sure.
Cute. I love it. And last but not least, Mello.
Hello. So yeah, my username is Fifth Mellow Music, and that comes from when I started DJing from I think 14 years ago. And Fifth, I cannot remember how exactly that come, but Mellow is like a shorter version of melody. And then I was like, maybe that works fine, but now I go by Mellow. And my introduction to Souls games was through PewDiePie, I think. I think I saw him playing Bloodborne, and I was like, these games are really cool. And then I saw him play Dark Souls 3, and I got like more motivated to play those games, even though I was kind of scared. And then I bought all the games, and I didn't touch them for 2 years, I think. Until I was like, I have to do this now. Then I played DS1 for 2 hours. Then I rage quit, and then I never came back to it like a year later or something.
I have those moments. I feel like with a lot of Dark Souls that I have played, it's all been on stream, and so like there have been moments where I'm like, I could throw this controller, but oh wait, I'm on camera. I cannot be angry while people see me. So awesome. I'm so excited to hang out with you guys today, whether it's like our first time chatting or Goose, who has been here before. Thank you so much for rejoining. So what we're going to do, we're going to start shifting through a couple of rounds of questions. We're going to take turns on who leads us off. That way everyone has an opportunity to like be kind of put on the spot and other people have that time to think. That way it seems a little bit more fair. And there is one question I'm going to ask at the end that is a repeat from every other time I've done this. So if you've watched any of the VODs or you've been here before, you know what question is coming. And if you don't, I didn't say anything. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Starting off with a gameplay-based question. Goose is going to lead us off with this one since AJ started us off with the intros. What's the most satisfying move or attack that you know from any Souls-like game?
Ooh, that's okay. That's a tough one. There is a weapon in Bloodborne that is so much fun to use. I didn't really use it a whole lot, but it's not the real name, but it's codenamed Pizza Cutter. And if you do play Bloodborne, you'll know what I'm talking about. But that's like one of the most fun weapons I've ever used. And then in Dark Souls 3, there's also some weapon, like a certain weapon that I used for the entire game that are just absolutely goated. But I really like doing like dex builds. So I think those builds have the best move sets, I guess, because I like to be flippy and agile and stuff. So.
Alrighty. Thank you. On to Draco.
Well, I guess my answer would be a little bit simpler, but my favorite thing to do in Souls games that's most satisfying to me is bonk. I love having a big heavy weapon that either will just stagger the enemy so they just stop what they're doing, or in certain games where it just absolutely pancakes them and then suddenly they're face down on the floor. Even if they're not dead, they are just completely flattened. It's just very satisfying to me, especially when it's like you can stagger larger enemies, because you think of like these big giant enemies and normally they're flattening you, but then when you can turn the tables on them and flatten them, it becomes more satisfying. And that's the reason why I started having a bonk emote.
I love it. Oh, and you put it into chat. It's aggressive and adorable. So I sorry, I didn't include it earlier, but I also am going to be answering the questions. So for this, for me, I've literally like kind of narrowed down into 2 weapons for my first playthrough of Dark Souls. The very first like chunk was I was using an Uchigatana, and that was fun. But now I'm using the Black Knight Greatsword, and when you do the right trigger, it's like this like sweeping one that like flings people back, and I love doing it on stairs or on a ledge and just watching them like, pew! Somehow it's just so satisfying. So that's it for me. Clue.
So I would say my favorite weapon, like in the entire franchise, is probably the Baldur's Side Sword. But my favorite move set, definitely the transformation attacks for the Kirk Hammer in Bloodborne, because it's a sword stuck in a big cement block, and you can imagine what the transformations look like, ripping that out and putting it back in. So that's probably my favorite like visual weapon for sure.
Very cool. I'm excited to one day get there, if like by the time I'm 50, with how long it's been taking me. So and then Mello.
So my favorite weapon comes from my favorite game, which is Bloodborne, and it's the Saw Spear. Mainly because I really like the fast pace of that weapon and being like really agile and all that stuff. But also, when I play Elden Ring, I really like, as Draco do, big bonk build. I really got into bonk build by playing a lot of like randomized runs in Elden Ring, and I just really love the air support that's called Wild Strikes. You can really tear up bosses with that one.
I love it. I love the big bonk builds. And last but not least for this one, AJ, not Ajax.
Yeah, not AJ. Thank you. No, I got a little bit of both. I agree with both Draco and Goose with a couple of these. Like my first build, or my build in the first Dark Souls, was a big bonk build, and I completely understand as far as like just having like the high enough poise and just like hitting him once and then hitting him twice, and then that third swing that you have, and then that's the one that staggers him, and then you just come in with another big hit, and it's almost like a third, to like, depending on however leveled you are, but like a third of the health could be down just based on those couple hits. But ever since then, and with the exception of Elden Ring, I've done nothing but dex builds, and it's usually been with some type of katana. The Uchigatana in Dark Souls 3 right now for me, and then for Dark Souls 2, like you get the Uchigatana, but eventually you'll get a more powerful katana as you do with other weapon types, and it's just something about like that charge, like it's like he has it sheathed and then he just swipes up. Even the same thing with Elden Ring too. I was a magic build for that one, but my main weapon was like the Moonveil katana, which is like sort of an intelligence-based katana. So I don't know, something about just being quick and fast and being able to move and get 4 or 5 hits in and then move out of the way and then just have something where your stamina just recharges quickly. It just feels good to just weave in and out.
I do agree with that. That's why I liked that one so much at the beginning, because I was like, I need to be fast, otherwise they're gonna hit me and I'm gonna die. And now I'm just like over leveled and just like the biggest boy and just like coming in with my sword. I'm just like, nope, smack, and it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. We're gonna move on. So our next one is kind of more a funny based question. So if you were an enemy in a game, what would your character drop if you died? And we're gonna start this one off with Draco.
Well, if I'm being quite literal, it'd probably drop an inhaler because your boy has asthma, and that's usually not far from me when I'm going out, especially since like the post-pandemic era. It's definitely something that I keep nearby.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're gonna kill me in a Souls game, you're probably gonna pick that up.
Beautiful. I'm interested now to be like, what's the lore that's gonna be written into your item description and everything. Not that I'm gonna ask that, but that's what my brain is gonna be thinking every time somebody talks about it. I love it. For me, mine would right now would probably be a Red Bull, because well, very similar to your inhaler. There's always one near me somewhere. Like I know right now over on my shelf I have the tangerine one. It's sugar free. I'm so excited to break into that after stream. But a Red Bull, and then of course it would like maybe boost stamina for a limited amount of time. Like I think of it as like the energy drink in Peak, as far as like if I'm saying what it would do, that's what it would do. But the item I would drop if I died would be a Red Bull. So on to Glue. Welcome back from feeding your puppies.
Yes, thank you. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Probably a Bic lighter. Yeah.
You gotta have one.
I don't know what it would do. Let's see. I mean, I don't know what it would do. I guess it could keep you warm, but that's not realistic at all.
It
doesn't even
like,
give off much light. Maybe it could just be like a junk item.
Oh, yeah.
You throw it. Just throw it.
Yeah. It's just a throwable. It's just a Bic lighter. That's it.
I gotta be honest, there's a lot of weapons and items in Souls games that I pick up and then never use.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
More for your backpack.
Yes. Our never-ending inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Alrighty, on to Mello.
Yeah, so I think my drop would be some kind of coffee-based thing, because I really like coffee. Like, I made a joke on my about page that I'm like a coffee addict. So, and I think it would be like regen stamina like quicker or something.
Yes.
Maybe along those lines.
Well, love it. Yes. All the caffeine. I'll take it all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Alrighty, up to AJ.
Yeah. So mine will probably be a copy of Fallout New Vegas. Whether you're a fan of it or that's the first thing you sell whenever you go to a vendor in Dark Souls, it'll probably be one of those things where you're just like, there's no way I'm going to use this thing, so just get rid of it. Or you cherish the hell out of it, and like it's one of those things where you're just like, I can't use this because if I use it, I lose it. So no, it'll probably be that. Fallout New Vegas is my my favorite game, pretty of all time. So
Okay.
pretty self-explanatory for those that know me.
Yeah, Joe and Tay are like they say it's very on brand.
Yeah.
So.
And it's very controversial. People hate that game, but I like it.
Interesting. Well, on to our last for this question. Crazy Grey Goose?
I would probably drop a bottle of wine. because that is like my number one ultimate beverage of choice. And I think it would probably, I don't want to say like it would like chill you out, because that's not necessarily a thing you can use in a Souls game, because I feel like being chilled out would be counterproductive. But maybe it could just like regen like health or stamina, or, you know, something that you have lost over time.
I feel like it could make you faster, but lose a little bit of health.
It could like
Oh, yeah.
temporarily drop your
confidence.
dex.
It's like one of these things, like in a lot of RPGs, it's like it raises your charisma and your strength and everything else, but it lowers your wisdom
Yeah.
and your intelligence, and it also makes you a little foggy. So
Oh yeah,
like
around the
you-
screen could
you
be like
50%
slightly
slower.
blurry. Oh my goodness. Yes. So the next category that we're moving into is kind of meta based. This one's gonna start off with Draco. Wait.
I
The
think
last one started
Greg
off with
just
Draco, so
started- yeah, I
I'm
started
starting the
last
next one. Okay, now I have stress. It's my turn to be the leader. Cool. Do you think that Souls games are... How do I want to phrase this? What do you think Souls games are actually about? And a lot of people say it's either like hope, or it's about despair, it's about failing to get good. What I've learned through my gameplay so far is it's about learning through failure and like perseverance. I feel like that's the best word to kind of describe it. So in a sense, I guess it could like fall into the category of hope, and like, you know, there have been times that like I threw myself, like my biggest amount of deaths, I know we're keeping things spoiler free, but names are okay. My biggest amount of deaths has been against Sif, and I threw myself at that wall, and I kept being like, okay, maybe if I take my clothes off, maybe I'll be able to roll faster. Like, what can I do? And like finding all the different things that I could do. Like, do I need to just run around and kill these little mushroom people in this area, level up, and just like do the grind and all the things? And then from all of those deaths, because I'm going through and I'm clipping every single one of my deaths, I was like, oh, I just need to learn how to roll. Cool, I can do that. Let me try. So, that's kind of what I think they're about. They're about learning through trying and learning with perseverance. So, it's kind of my long answer. Oh no, things aren't. There we go. Oh. So, on to Umber, and I'm going to work on fixing a couple of things on my side.
Sure. So mine's a little more depressing. I feel like they're more about, for me, it makes me think about how being in the right place at the right time can lead to anything. Because like your characters in these games they're normal individuals, like from whatever universe the game is in. There's nothing really special about them. And like at the very beginning of Dark Souls 1, I don't think this is a spoiler, the person that gives you your Estus flask was trying to do what you try to go do. So like people have tried to do this stuff over and over again. You're not like the first one, you're not the chosen one, you're not special, but you still change the world. So like in a way it's kind of like nihilistic, but also with the opportunity to change things.
Love
So
that.
it's like you're not necessarily like made for this role, but if you're given this role, then you can decide the outcome.
That's so pretty. That's so eloquently put. Alrighty, so on to Mello.
Oh, I would jump in the same boat as you, Candy, with perseverance and all that stuff, and also at the same time that like if you take lore and the whole world, how the whole world works, it's like up to your own imagination, like how the whole thing is like tied together and all that stuff. So I think it's really good, like to let your imaginations like go wild, and you can just interpret the world however you want. So if like a square is round, then it's fine, you know. And when it comes to like games in themselves, I really like to be nerdy and how I can make things more effective with how I play. So that's a really fun aspect for me, at least.
Beautiful. Love it. Then on to AJ.
Yeah, I would agree. In-game wise, I'd agree with Umber. I mean, it definitely is one of these things, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but yeah, just to piggyback on that, like, you are just this normal person that can either continue the cycle of what's happening or just stop it. And the characters you meet, you really learn. The more you interact with them throughout the game, like, you really learn more about, okay, which side are you leaning toward with a lot of these, or a lot of these issues, or because I mean there is sort of like a political sense going on in the whole Dark Souls universe, and it just you start to see like, oh, you don't really sound like you're really here to help me, or you sound like another person may sound trustworthy, and you come to really cherish those relationships with that. And I think it's a lot of it's a lot of emotion through a lot of these things, because some characters are just so memorable that just they're always in the next iteration of Dark Souls games, whenever that may be, or whether it's stopped or whatever, you're always going to like see some reference back to maybe someone you saw back in Dark Souls 1 that meant a lot to you, and really had this pivotal part in the story that just stuck with you. And it's, I don't know, it's just the storytelling within the game is very you come from nothing, and like you have this huge impact with these characters that you meet. So but physically, as us playing the game, it's definitely about resiliency, because the game wants you to fail. I mean, it wants you to learn and pick yourself back up, and work your way toward the next boss, or the next goal, or the next area. And it definitely teaches you to, what's hard now may not be hard later, or what's hard now was not as bad as you thought. So, and I've had times where, like in Bloodborne, not just one boss, and some of you may know, I died the most to Mikolash than I had died to any other boss in Bloodborne. So, and for some reason, I'm just like, why was this one so hard? Why was this one so difficult? But I think it's just, everybody has a different type of skill set, and a different way of, a sort of attacking these obstacles. But it's definitely about picking yourself back up and dusting yourself off, because eventually you're going to get it, And I refuse to, the Sif fight is one of my worst fights, because I love it so much. I hate having to fight Sif.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I feel that. Sorry, the weather has scared the dog, and he insists on being up with me. So this is Hondo. Yep.
Never apologize for pup content.
Nope. Keep him there.
We'll see. My lap isn't as big as Dad, so he'll get tired of mine eventually. Alrighty. So, Goose, how do you feel about this question?
Yeah, so like I said in the last panel, I think the Souls games generally teach people about perseverance and hope. But the more I think about it, I feel like they also teach you that it's okay to ask for help. So I feel like a lot of times, especially in this community, unfortunately, we get people who say, oh, you can't do that because XYZ, or you can't look at a guide, you can't use summons, you can't, and I feel like there was a boss in Bloodborne that I was fighting for 2 weeks straight, and it was so bad because the boss screams in your face constantly, and it was getting so annoying that I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I have to beat him. So I summoned in a few of my viewers to help me beat him. And at first I was kind of like, I feel like I didn't do it. I feel like it didn't count. And I keep telling myself it did count. And then it kind of gives me the motivation to eventually go back and try to beat him on my own. But it's okay to ask for help. If you need help, or if with a boss, by all means, if it's better for your mental health, do it. It still counts as a win. So yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, the game gives it to you. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's there to be used. So.
Mm-hmm.
Let me pop this open really fast. Okay. And then the last one for this question, Draco.
Well, I would also agree about perseverance. I've taught a few people who are just starting out Souls before, And the number one advice that I usually give them is you're going to die a lot until you don't. Because with any given like boss, they can kill you 100 times, 1,000 times, but you only have to kill them once. So the game doesn't track your deaths for you for that very reason. It's like the game doesn't care how long it takes you to do it, how you do it. Like if you want to load up on magic and kill them in 3 spells, if you want to summon as many summons as possible, if you want to do it alone, butt naked, using a broken sword, you can. The game doesn't care. The game just wants to know that you can do it. But the how long, all that's up to you. So not only is it about the perseverance, but also the choice factor. Like it gives you so many options, and that's why I really don't vibe with the whole elitism of, oh, well, you can't use this, you can't use that, because if the game intended for you to do it one specific way, then it wouldn't have all these other options. And it just, I'm glad that specifically our community, the Firekeepers, has been very open about encouraging people to explore their options and not gatekeeping at all. Inadvertent plug for the Firekeepers.
Yes, absolutely. Shout out to JenIsOnline for bringing all of us together. Alrighty. And backpacking off of what you said, I like the very first time I ran into a summon signal on the ground, I like looked into the camera and I was like, hey, so this is built into the game. I don't need anybody coming into my YouTube channel, anybody here being like, you shouldn't do that. I'm like, it's there for a reason. I'm using it. And my first summon was Solaire, and I was like, oh my gosh. So, yes.
I do want to backpack off of that too. Like I beat Melania in 11 tries, which I was like super excited about. And somebody in my chat came in and was like, well, Melania is weak to bleed, so, and that's what you use, so blah blah blah, it doesn't count. And I was like, okay, like I'm sorry it took you longer because you made it harder, but
oh, they're weak to something? Let me exploit that. It's like trying to play Pokemon and you're trying to beat a fire type Pokemon with a grass. Like there's clearly advantages like that we should be using.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Also, it's funny too because with like Night Rain that came out, whenever you pick like which boss you're gonna fight, it will explicitly tell you like on the description, this boss is weak to this. So it's like use this. Like so telling people that they shouldn't exploit weaknesses, that's like FromSoft is saying, nah, fam, no, just here's the weakness. Use that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, it gives you an opportunity to like build your loadout too, or like what to look for. Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice if they actually did that in the game, but I'm not. Who am I?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be too easy, right?
Yeah.
Is an option to turn on and off. They tell you what they're weak to.
Where's the easy mode on this game?
All right, into our next question. This one kind of like a debate starter, so I feel like we're all gonna have different answers based on our experience. But starting us off with this one's gonna be Glue. I'm sorry, I keep like changing the names that I call you.
You're good.
The ADHD brain is real, and animals are being wily because of the weather, and I'm just like all over the place. What's the hardest boss that you have encountered in a Souls or Souls-like game that's like a skill check and not more so like on the gimmick side of things?
Manus. That's beautiful. Manus. Yep. There's so I just couldn't do it. If there's a way to spend a lot of time going around a lot of different things to be able to do this certain fight without ever entering the arena.
Huh.
And I chose to do that instead.
All right.
So, Manus.
And did it work? Like you were able to
get...
Okay.
Well, you do not get that area ended and completed.
Gotcha.
because then it's broken. But
Because the wall didn't open up. Yeah, I got you.
right, but you can go down there, but you nothing's down there really that you
Right.
can do.
Right.
But yeah, it does work, and it was totally worth it because I hate him. I absolutely hate him.
I love how vague and cryptic it all is. There have been times that, like, I ask questions and people will be vague enough that I'm like, hold on, now I have stress. What do you mean? What do you mean? And like, I think somebody in our first panel talked about one of the boss fights in Dark Souls 3, and that it's going to, like, since I played 1 first, it's going to emotionally destroy me. And I'm like, cool, thank you. I'm so looking forward to it.
That was me.
Yes. Please know I think about that way too often. Anytime I run into someone, I'm like, does this tie into Dark Souls 3?
You just scar for life now.
It will emotionally get you in like a good way if that makes you feel better.
Okay, yes, it does.
Yes.
I'll still think about it all the time, though. Like, after that panel, I went to PAX, and I spent my entire time at PAX with Jen, and we were talking about the panel and stuff, and I was like, yeah, I think with what it was said, I'm gonna end up having to fight Solaire in Dark Souls 3. And she goes, can you imagine having to fight Solaire? And she was just so vague, and then she just left it, and I was like, please, I actually might rage quit. Don't make me fight him. So it's great. So continuing on.
Just kill him in one.
What?
Honestly, like for fun, so you can wear his hat. Just kill him in one.
Oh, I get his hat? Not worth it.
Oh.
Not worth it. I'm sorry. It's a really cool hat. So
Yeah.
like,
It's like the most
No,
iconic
see, like,
hat in
somebody
the
made
whole
me kill
franchise.
a merchant very early on. Like, chat was like, kill this merchant, you'll get this really cool sword. And then I was like, I'm not listening to you guys anymore because that was the only person apparently that I could buy certain things from. I'm not killing NPCs. Stop making me kill random people. So,
I think the worst is when you accidentally killed an NPC, like you don't mean to, and you like press a button, and then yeah, that's the worst ever.
you like trigger a fight, and then they're like, "Whoa." Yes.
I'll sometimes just unsheath just in case.
Like, oh, I'm about to have a conversation. I just put this away.
Yeah.
Oops, I didn't see you there. My bad.
Sorry, did my sword hit you? It's okay. You're fine. You're fine.
They're also so nice about it. Oh, sorry, you didn't mean to hit me, did you? No, surely. Surely not.
All right. So, Mello, who do you think is the real hardest boss in Souls-like games?
Personally, when I played Elden Ring, I think it's the first quote-unquote boss you meet in the DLC. It's a dancing lion, and that was like the biggest skill check for me, at least in that game. But I think overall, where I had like the most difficulty and which I hated the most was Melania in the beginning. I think that's a classic, but yeah, the Melania was like the biggest iffy moment for me, I think, in terms of bosses. Now I love her. So.
yeah, and I saw you doing
way
a
too.
only Melania randomizer the
Yeah.
other day.
I had a chatter in when I was fighting the last Melania. She was like, "Aren't you like done with fighting Melania?" No, I can fight her all day, dude. This is a fun fight now.
Only her is great. I love that. All right, so moving on up from where I am onto AJ, who is the real hardest boss of Souls-like games?
Yeah, just to touch on Melania for a little bit. It took me 80 tries to best Melania, and I said, never again. I'm good. And I think it just might have just been my build and everything. But no, I think the one that really sort of changed my whole trajectory on how I look at Souls games has got to be Martyr Ligarius in Bloodborne. I died so much to him. The fight is so cool. Like, I love the whole little atmosphere of where you're at and where you fight him at and the whole thing that comes after that. But he was the one that I died so much to that I grinded 40 levels, 50 levels, and I said, I'm gonna come back and kick this guy's ass. I'm gonna come back and do it. Came back and got him on the second try. And I was like, you know what? I said, I just need to be smart about my souls here. And just, at the time, my build for Bloodborne wasn't that great, so it probably didn't help out much with the fight. But man, that fight was just so cool, but it definitely changed my whole outlook on just being aware of keeping your souls and putting them in the right stats. And yeah, it's one that's just always stuck with me. Manus, I didn't have a hard, too bad of a fight with Manus, because I was with my bonk build. I probably did it within like maybe 15 tries, but I also face tanked a lot.
I hate him. I hate him.
He sucks. He sucks, but his place is so cool too, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mario Garrus. Marty for me.
Alrighty, on to Goose.
This question's so hard for me because there's so many bosses that have given me such a hard time. I would have to say a big skill check for me. It's like a tie between two. So the first one is Ornstein and Smoke, and that is because it's not like the first like multi-boss fight I've done, obviously, but I think it was just so overwhelming, and like I have like really bad ADHD, so when there's multiple things happening at once, it's really hard for me to focus and not like just panic and just get overwhelmed. So I think that skill, I did end up like taking my character's clothes off for that one because I was like, I need to be, quick and stuff. So that was another thing I changed. But another skill check I had was Consort Radon, and because my build was wrong. So basically all I really had to do was just change my build, and so I think like sometimes it's okay, yeah, like sometimes a boss is like, nope, this is just completely wrong, you're doing everything wrong, you need to go back and try again. So yeah, but I would say those two gave me the hardest time, and then the boss I talked about earlier, but I had help, so
Yeah. I think with the boss you were talking about earlier, I've sat in someone's stream and just like watched them, like if it's the same one that I'm thinking about, another Firekeeper, Cinnamint, has died like 100 times to a boss, and I'm like, all right, my max is 23. I'm terrified from moving forward. So
you got this, Candy. You can do it.
That boss is terrifying. Yeah.
All right,
See,
Draco.
do y'all think? Sorry.
No, sorry. Ask your question. Yeah.
Well, I was just wondering, do you think Calamite or Manus is worse?
I cannot answer that. I haven't fought any of them.
I have an opinion on that.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
I would say in
Like,
terms of like what resources you have available, I would rank Calamite slightly higher because there is an item you can get that does help make Manus easier. I won't go into the specifics or what that item is or what it does, but I think just the fact that exists to lessen the burden of Manus a little bit. Calamite does not have an equivalent to that, so I rank Calamite slightly higher for that reason.
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah, like I spent more time on Calamite trying to get that rather than Manus. So
I don't have an opinion.
And let's not even talk about Calamite's tail.
yeah,
I don't have an opinion because I accidentally face tanked Manus and I beat him on the first try. And I'm saying accidentally because I had to run naked through the area for various reasons because you have to quick. And then I panicked going through the fog wall, and so I'm just like, oh, sorry, I hit my mic. So I'm frantically like putting on just any clothes I have, and I end up putting on just like the heaviest armor I own. And I'm like, okay, this is fine, I guess. So I don't know, but so I don't really have an opinion. Calamite definitely gave me a harder time because I didn't panic and put on stuff. So
Fair.
All right. I like that. I like that I'm like, yes, oh yeah, that's a good point. And I'm like, I don't know who these people are. I'm learning. I'm like mental notes, but I will forget by the time I get to that game.
You'll have a great time, Candy. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
You guys aren't stressing me out at all. It's cool. So back to our question. I believe we're at Draco. On who is the real hardest boss in Souls-like games?
I have two answers. One of them's an atypical answer, but the other one is a more generic one.
Mhm.
My atypical answer is the hardest boss in all of Souls. Souls likes literally every single game. The camera. The camera, I feel like, is something that From Software has never really gotten 100% right, especially when it comes, one, to really big bosses, especially since almost all of them will have some kind of charge attack where they are right on top of you, and then you can't see anything. And then anytime the arena has, like, walls, because if you get pushed up against the wall, you cannot see anything. And I think one of the biggest things for Souls games is learning how to deal with the camera. Like, the common thing is just lock on, but sometimes locking on is not the best move, especially for those big bosses where they have like a single focus point where the lock on will focus on. So when you're underneath them, you're suddenly facing backwards because the lock on is just locked onto the head, but you're underneath their stomach. So it's one of those things where you have to kind of learn. Sometimes you need to be able to unlock and do the free camera to be able to actually control the camera a little bit more directly. But yeah, the camera is very rarely your friend. But yeah. As for a more generic boss, in my opinion, would be Genichiro in Sekiro. Because in my opinion, he is there to teach you that Sekiro is not Dark Souls. Because every boss that you can potentially face before him, you can still beat with the kind of the Dark Souls strategy of dodge to the side, or, you know, just abuse all-out aggression. But Genichiro is that boss in Sekiro where you have to parry. Obviously, challenge runners can do it without parries. That's not the point. Speedrunners can do it by, like, glitching him to the point where you can just attack him nonstop. That's not the point. Nobody's going to do that on the first playthrough, but he is there to kind of get you to adjust to Sekiro's gameplay. And if you've just come from like all the Dark Souls games, which I did, because I did Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, then Sekiro in order, and it was an adjustment. But I think if you can make that adjustment, it really pays off, because although I struggled a bit with Genichiro, I actually first tried the final boss of Sekiro because I had gotten so used to parrying that it all just clicked.
All right. I love it. For me, I do also have like a very similar answer. The hardest boss is gravity that I have experienced. The amount of times that I'm just like, oh, I'm running, and then I happen to slide. I was just running through the crystal caves, and
Slippy.
if you know anything about that area, there's lots of invisible walkways that turn. So it's great. I love it. If I were to pick like an actual boss, I would probably, though I talked about it earlier, the boss that I've had the most amount of deaths to would be Sif, but that's not going to make Sif the hardest boss for me. Like, she was a challenge that I had to learn from. But bouncing off of Goose's answer, Ornstein and Smog, that was a lot. Like, I ended up, I don't even know if it's still on the wheel. Yeah, I ended up creating a wheel because I died so many times. I was like, what am I going to do after this attempt? Oh, let's see. Just do it. Or there is like, get naked. And, you know, like, I was running out of ideas, and I was like, I need to just, my ADHD brain will be like, no, you have to go do this. And then like, I found out that there's a way to get humanity in that area, because like I had run out of humanity. So I was like, all right, I'm doing this alone. I don't get that summon that's in the area. And so then I found out how to get humanity. I went and grinded some of that, and then I was like, all right, we're doing this, my friend. And like, still, it took multiple tries, and it's probably like my second highest amount of deaths. But the fact that it changes based on like which boss dies first totally changes the gameplay for me. And so like, sometimes it was, I would have my summon get one of them and I would get the other, and then like there was one time like both of like we killed them both at the same time, but because you can only kill one, the other still lived, and I was like, his health was empty, what do you mean? And it was just so frustrating. And I know so many people like refer to that as like the skill check of that game. So to say that I've done it like feels really good. And I'm sure like going forward there's gonna be more hard bosses. Because I think I'm getting close to the end of the game. Do I actually know? No. But like I've met a weird looking snake, and he's kind of finally given me like a here's the next 3 things you have to do, and I'm like, cool, that seems very laid out, feels very storyliney, I can do this. So that's
It's so wild when the game actually tells you, hey, this is what you have to do.
right. Somebody in chat one time asked me, they're like, what quest are you working on? I was like,
What are you talking about?
what do you mean? I'm running around. I have no idea what I'm doing. So
Frampt is goated. He's awesome.
I love Frampt.
Now, which
Sure
one?
does make
yeah.
some noises.
Yeah, he does.
Honestly, the best thing to do in Souls games is to just run around.
yeah.
You know?
Die. I mean,
I'm not a Frampt fan.
you're not a Frampt fan. He's kind of. I mean, he's sort of got like a donkey face, you know.
I'm not a fan of
Teeth are
who he
uncanny.
is or what he's about.
Yeah, he's kind of weird. I mean, he's funny, but he's great in the sense that you can just feed him a broken sword and he'll give you souls. So
Oh, that's cool.
Convenient, I'll give him that.
I think
Which,
I sided with the other one who talks about Frampt. I think his
No,
name
yeah.
starts with like a K.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
which out of Ornstein and Smoke, which one did you beat first?
I beat oh gosh, Ornstein. I beat Ornstein first, and then the end was
You did Big
against
Smoke?
Big Smoke.
Yeah, it's easier to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wasn't
You know
on
the funny
purpose,
thing, though?
but
I actually consider Phase 2 Ornstein to be easier, but it's just easier to isolate Ornstein in Phase 1 since he just zooms over like Sonic the Hedgehog and
sprints
you have enough
at you.
alone time to get him down first.
Mm-hmm.
That's his
I'll have to
Jedi
try that next time. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, Jedi swoop.
Lots of good times, like looking back at the fight, like when I was experiencing, I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean this is the game? But then like once it changed and I was like, oh yeah, I did it. Now I'm like, shh, I could do that again. What do you mean?
There's plenty of times where I like go through different bosses and I'm just like, oh, that was a really cool fight. That was a really cool fight. And then there's some I'm just like, get me the fuck out of here. Like,
yeah. The get me the
same,
fuck
same.
out of here for me was the Capra demon. That
Oh,
was
God.
fun.
the hallway of death.
Yeah.
I hated it.
Okay, let's
He's
call
terrible.
a spade a spade, though. The real boss
If
is
they-
the
if
Capra
they
demon.
just-
The real boss is the dogs.
Is the
Yeah.
two dogs,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they just like that fight literally put me into a full-fledged panic. Like, I literally was having a panic attack during that fight.
It's a lot like
It's
it
too
feels like a
much.
lot like entering Ornstein and Smo too. Like it's like it seems like RNG what Ornstein's gonna do first. See, it feels like RNG what those dogs are gonna do first.
Yeah.
So it depends. It's like real specific, and sometimes it's just not gonna happen.
I've had plenty of times just going in and the first thing that happens to me is the dog jumps on me. And I'm just
Right.
like, don't even get a chance. Luckily, I went in. I knew the WWE strat, off the top turnbuckle, and like,
I happened to
Just like
find that on
around.
accident
Yeah.
during one of my clips of my death. I was like, what is that? Where is he
Yeah.
walking? What do you mean? Oh.
Because he does it too.
Yeah.
You're like, whoa, this ain't fair. I'm gonna try
Like, I
it.
know we mentioned earlier the thing about not fighting Manus, but not fighting Manus. You can kind of do that for Capra Demon as well, where if you have the dung pies,
yeah.
you can throw them over the wall, he'll get poisoned, and then he'll die before you actually enter
Yep.
the room.
Listen, I tried that.
I love cheese.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All the cheese is great. I happened to discover that on my own. I was like, I have this poop. What am I going to do with it? I could try and throw it. And then, like, I ran out of poop with my attempts of, like, throwing it over. And I was like, it doesn't do anything. But then, like, I kept trying the poop strat for, like, other things, like Incense Fortress and stuff. And
Yep.
I can't throw poop, and I'm okay with that. It's not a strat for me.
I actually didn't know the dung piles were poisonous.
Yeah. It's.
So
I think it's.
kind of held on to them.
I think it says it's like it's for specific or certain enemies or whatever.
Oh, gotcha.
If I'm,
I don't
mean,
read.
I may be remembering that incorrectly, but I thought I remember either that or maybe somebody sells it to you, says it or something. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I think it's an
there's
item description, but who reads the item descriptions?
Yeah, who does that in a Souls game? What are we
That's
doing here?
terrible. Like my people have to be like, read what it says. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry.
And then it's something like super cryptic, and you're like, what the?
Who
What?
even reads nowadays, right?
yeah. I've been trying. If I run into like a wall like that, I will just like be like, okay, what random item can I use this time? And like one of the times was like a transient skull. No, it's like this weird skull
Yeah,
that like
it's a thing
supposedly.
that'll-
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like somebody in
thing
my
that
chat was
attracts
like,
other
I have
enemies.
never tried that before. Like, what are you doing? I don't know. Trying things. So, alrighty. We are a little past our hour, but I know like it doesn't quite match up because of the weather and stuff. But we are going to take a little 5-minute break. When we come back, we'll move into our next round of questions, and Mello is going to be starting us off with that when we come back. So we're going to take a little 5-minute break, go get your stretches, take care of your animals, things like that, and we will be back. I hope everyone had a good little break, got some stretches, took care of pets if you have them, or just like if your pet's napping, I don't know. But if you have pets, I hope you give them good head pats today. My cat, one of them, has moved into the background, and he's like the rarely spotted one, and he is the one that did this to the couch. So he's laying by his work of art.
Never go back to the crime scene.
Yeah. He lives at his crime scene.
Okay.
Alrighty, so as we get back on into things, Mello is starting us off for this round. And this is a gameplay-based question. If you could remove one mechanic from the Souls series, what would it be?
That's a good one. Think either poison or scarlet rot. I think, especially like scarlet rot, that's like a big damage over time thing. I think that's the worst mechanic I think I can think of.
Yeah. And you said, what was the second part? The poison or what?
Poison or something that's called scarlet rot.
Oh.
It's from Elden Ring.
Okay.
Just to interject, think of Scarlet Rot as comparable to Toxic in Dark Souls.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
It's very intense.
Fun.
just way worse.
Yeah.
Great. Alrighty. So AJ, what's one mechanic you would remove?
Me and Draco were actually sort of mentioning it yesterday in our little chat. ADP in Dark Souls 2, it's more like, and Draco, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember what it stands for. It's like adaptability or something.
You're 100% right.
Yeah, so I'm not going to spoil too much about it, but it definitely is, it's more of like how you do certain things. I'll just keep it at that. That other Dark Souls don't have to worry about. It's just a little bit of a why do I have to spend points into this whenever it should just be standard? But I think that was probably one, and then the second one, if I had to think of it, this is more so just a gripe on me having to deal with this, is just equipment load. I hate having to like. I guess it's another stat. You sort of have to put stats into that to be able to carry the equipment you want. But a lot of times I just end up running around naked anyway. It'd be nice to just be like, oh, I want to look cool. Like maybe add like a transmog or something. Fashion Souls.
Yes, I love some Fashion Souls.
No equip load in Bloodborne.
No, that's true. That's true. There is no equip load on Bloodborne. That's the one best thing. That's sort of
No fat rolling.
Yeah.
No rolling at all, really. But
I don't think it's possible to fat roll, like even have something to look like you could possibly fat roll in that game.
yeah.
I think all the outfits are sort of slim.
It seems
'Cause
very
technically
like
you don't
sleek.
roll with Bloodborne. You do the quick
That
steps.
you got the quick step. Yep, that's right. That's right.
Yes. All
You
right,
got
on
the dash.
to Goose for the same.
I'm gonna go off of what AJ said. I did not like ADP in Dark Souls 2 only because I kept forgetting about it, and then people had to remind me to keep leveling it up, and I'm like, why do I even need this? I want to level up other things, you know? So yeah, I think it was kind of not needed. I don't think the developers. I think the developers were like, you want to know what would be really cool? A way to like, yeah, I'm not gonna spoil too much about what it does, but it's like, yeah, just make the game more complicated for everyone.
Yeah.
I love things like that. So Draco.
Well, I won't harp on ADP anymore, although I will say if they do eventually remake Dark Souls 2, I would love if ADP was not a part of it.
Mhm.
In terms of a mechanic across like multiple games rather than one specific one, I would say instant death status. I feel like that's one of those things that they have across multiple games that's just, it's always a nuisance because in general, when you think of status effects, it's like, okay, you would try to avoid them, but if you do get hit by them, you have to work around them. Like, okay, well, now I'm poisoned, so my HP is steadily draining and I have to balance my resources around that. Or I got hit with frostbite, so now I'm slower and I'm going to have to be more like meaningful with my rolls because of that. But with instant death, there's no adjusting to it. It's just you're dead. That's it. Runs over. Pack up, go home. And I feel like most of the time it's just meant to be kind of like the figurative middle finger, because normally it's not like an attack that deals instant death. Instead, it's like, okay, I'm going to spread a bunch of area effect on the ground. You can't stand here, or you just die instantly. And more often than not, they do it in very small spaces where you don't have a whole lot of room to maneuver in the first place. And it's basically just like, okay, how can we just instantly kill the person? Like, regardless of build, regardless of whatever, it's just, you're dead. That's it. And I don't mind, like, dying in these games, but I feel like that one in particular has always just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, especially since they normally do it in ways that feel like it's just there to troll the player rather than to present a challenge.
That's totally fair.
I
Yeah.
could do without it.
I totally agree with that one.
Okay, so for me, I feel like it comes down to two different things. One of them is, I think it's called Curse. I met these annoying frog things in one area of Dark Souls, and then they turned me to stone.
Curse is the
And-
instant death of Dark
Yeah.
Souls 1.
Yeah, it was not super great. I had to run all the way back to somebody else to get an item to fix it. And I was just like,
you're describing like the experience, though, just so you know.
yeah.
We all
Dark Souls 1 is probably the worst status across the series.
especially because you lose HP after. That's the worst.
Yeah.
So I feel like either that or the other one I was thinking was not being able. I feel like I'm kind of loopholing my own question. If I could remove one mechanic, would be that there's a lack of a mechanic. So removing the fact that it doesn't exist. I feel like since I can lock on with a bow and arrow, I should be able to lock on with a crossbow. Like, why can I lock on with everything else except for a crossbow? What do you mean? So, that's my salty answer, because I want to really use a crossbow, but I don't have good enough aim, so that's my story.
I just kept forgetting how to use the bows, so I just never used them.
They do
I
have
will-
an extra
I'd pull
step
one out,
or two.
I'd be like, how do you do this?
And then I learned how to lock on. Somebody was initially like, you can't lock on with a bow, and I was just like messing around one day, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I can.
I just did.
What do you? So you can fight me.
I mean, do people go and like do bow builds? I don't know if I've ever.
Yeah, I've seen people do like bow only builds.
Mhm.
They're
That's
considered
crazy.
like a challenge build because
Yeah.
they're not terribly viable. I mean, you can use them, but they're not well balanced. Unless you're playing Night Rain, in which case the
Otto's
Bo
overpowered.
character is considered, he's the top tier character.
Oh yeah.
So
Yes.
But I know Firekeeper, he does, he's doing like a hitless only bow challenge.
That's crazy.
And
That's
his
wild.
distance PB, I think, is almost endgame. Morgoth in Elden Ring, I think.
People are so talented.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anytime I'm watching somebody do like a speed run or a hitless, a deathless, I'm just like,
Mhm.
power to you who do it, because could not be me. I happen to like humbly brag to my mods in my Discord. I was like, I'm not gonna die next stream, because we were trying to figure out who's gonna count my deaths, because like one of my mods is on vacation and he's usually like my main death counter. And I was like, it's okay, I'm just not gonna die. And they all just started talking shit, and I was like, cool, thanks guys. I believe in me too.
Well, you know what they say, the first step of a deathless run is deciding to do a deathless run.
Mhm.
Yes,
Fair.
exactly.
Let's just do a deathless
Speaking of,
stream.
like-
I'll start there.
People that are so talented. I went to the alternate controllers panel at TwitchCon, and there was somebody who figured out a way to play with their. They created a controller and they controlled it with their toes, and then another one made a controller out of a potato, and I was like,
Oh, yeah, I
wow,
know who that is.
you guys
That's,
are just like next level.
I've seen one complete the game with the brain waves, like only the brain.
yeah.
My
They're
gosh.
so
Weird.
crazy.
Like your mind.
Yeah, they put like I don't know
put,
what
like,
it means.
Yeah,
So they put like a
electrodes
device
on
on the
your
head.
scalp.
Yeah,
Are you
so
se- that's
you
amazing.
use like brain waves to like move your character, to dodge, attack, all that stuff. You know?
It's like a very technical
people
thing
are
where
like
it's like
crazy.
it's measuring like the electrical impulses. So it's like different parts of your brain like activate when you do different things, so that will correspond to the character. But it's also a very high tech setup, so it's not something that's easy to replicate.
Also,
I would
it's-
think you would have to have like a degree in like neuroscience or something to understand like which part of the brain triggers this neuron. Like I don't know.
which my brain is not pooped today. But I think the most fun one was someone who beat Elden Ring with their goldfish.
Yes,
That's
I
the
saw
funniest one I've
that.
seen.
Oh yeah. Were they like
So there's like a
making
big
bullets on the sensor? Yeah.
that's a big board, and then the goldfish just swims around, and I think they beat the first remembrance boss of Elden Ring. That's amazing.
That's so cute.
I love that. I feel
We
like I
have to
had a
find
very
that.
I had a very similar conversation with this during the Firekeeper's anniversary raid train. Somebody like was talking about using a banana. I was like, can you imagine just rage quitting and instead of throwing your controller, just eating it? Like aggressively, like no more controller.
God damn it,
so-
now go back to the store and find my new controller.
Yeah. I need a fresh banana. Okay, so same
Banana.
question. Our last answer for this one from Glue. If you could remove one mechanic from the series, what would it be?
It's really picky, but having to be human before you can kindle a bonfire in Dark Souls 1. Because like,
That's
okay, lore-wise, I get you, but then there's an item that you get that lets you kindle better.
Mhm.
So if you want to be picky about it, once you get that item, why do you need to be human? Like it just, I don't know. It's
That's a
just
fair
an
point.
extra step.
Yeah. I just recently attained the item, and I was like, I wonder if this does what I think it does. And then I was like, I think I had a very similar thought. I was like, wait, why? If I can do these
Yeah, like
extra
why
things.
is it still a thing?
Yeah. Does that carry
I
on
forget
into
that.
other games?
Dark Souls 1 has a
No.
unique
I don't-
way of handling healing that none of the other ones do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So can I add something to my answer? I
Yeah.
just remembered something that's like something maybe you want to change instead of removing. It's a healing system that's in Bloodborne. Like the blood vials.
Oh, like
Um,
farming them?
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
feel like for a lot of new players it's annoying because you have like only X amount of a healing item, it doesn't replenish every time. Only if you have like something in stock, and if you run out, you kind of have to farm certain enemies to replenish your healing items, and that's like a really, really dumb mechanic. I know it's lore based, but it's still like one of the most dumb mechanics I've ever encountered.
I can add on to what Miller said.
Yeah.
I think if I were to change that, I would make it so the player cannot drop below 10, like when they respawn. So, like, if you die with 4 blood vials, instead of just having 4 left and having to farm more, you respawn with 10, because that still encourages, like, the farming aspect where you can farm extras to go up to 20 if you want, but you're never at 0. Because I actually like the blood vial system more than, let's say, a comparable system that's in Demon Souls, just because blood vials can drop from, like, anything and everything, even though there's certain things that drop more of them. And the fact that they deal they heal a specific percentage rather than like a flat amount. So whether you're starting the game or if you have 50 vigor, then you're still healing 40% of your HP per blood vial. So I like that they scale with your health.
Yeah, that's really good. But the whole farming aspect is like why people go to like the funny dungeon in Bloodborne. I'm not gonna say the name because it's
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. So I'm not going to say the word. It's a really funny dungeon. You go there, something happens, you get money, you get out again. Then people do that just to like get easy items. So.
All right. Beautiful. On to our next question, kind of more in the funny, whimsical area of things. Starting us off with this one is going to be AJ. So no pressure on this, but what would a Dark Souls theme park ride look like?
My mind immediately goes to some sort of variation of Sin's Fortress, to where it's like you go down and then like the pendulum swing and you miss it right in time, and then maybe you go up the hill and then the boulder comes down, but then it diverts real quick, and yeah, it's got to be something to do with Sin's Fortress for sure. Like some sort of like Indiana Jones theme, but like Dark Souls almost.
I like it.
Yeah, it's just what my mind goes to. Yeah, Sin's Funhouse. Yeah.
Lots of interesting times there. A lot of extra time there. I surprisingly did really well in Sin's Fortress. I got through it in 2 tries. And I don't know, a lot of people were saying, oh, you did a good job, and I'm just like, I just tried not to die. I was very cautious, but Sin's Fortress is it's definitely a fun place to be. Yeah.
Since also fun.
Yeah. So Ghost, what would your Dark Souls ride look like?
I would have to make it like some sort of haunted house. Then have Bloodborne enemies in them. It'd be terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
It'd be cool to do like the different areas, and like each of them are sort of set and like a quick like 1 or 2 minute, like, oh, you go through Yarnum and then you get to other areas.
Like the enemies change based on the section of the house. Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Draco.
Okay, this is kind of a meme answer, but I don't know if anyone's played Roller Coaster Tycoon. And you could basically like make a roller coaster, except it doesn't go anywhere. So a Dark Souls theme park is basically that roller coaster that doesn't go anywhere. You're going through the loop, it just launches you off, and then you die. Pops up.
Oh man. Surely they get their money back.
Of course.
They'll pay for the hospital bill.
Just do it all over again.
You got like the glowing green right at the beginning of the ride again.
Yeah.
Don't worry, they'll make a bonfire nearby, so people will disappear there.
That's hilarious. For me, I feel like my answer very much ties into AJ's. I don't want it to be like that you're on a ride, though. I want Sin's Fortress American Ninja Warrior style. Like, obstacle course, you have to do all the things. Like, that's what I want.
Park.
Yeah. Different kind
That'd
of
be
theme
really
park. Like, imagine it as like a bouncy house that, you know, suddenly there's just like, what is that show? Wipeout? It's like a
Yeah.
Wipeout
Oh yeah.
run through. So, Sense Fortress, I feel like definitely lends itself to be at a theme park. So, continuing on with the glue.
So you know how the map for Dark Souls 1 is like all connected? There's art of it to where it's just one big oblong shape.
Mm-hmm.
That, but a log flume.
Oh, fine. Okay,
Yeah.
yes. I see the
Draco's looking
vision.
up the map right now. I see him doing it.
Then a big splash is in Blighttown, and then you're just
Covered in
in gook.
swamp.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like the old problematic Disney ride that got shut down. What was that one called? Something like that, but it's the map.
Yes. That would be lots of fun.
It's a small world, but it's just pling pling pong the whole time.
This is pling pling plong.
Yeah.
And Mello, what would your ride
I would
be?
enjoy that ride.
Yeah, that'd be
So
nice.
my ride would be based around. Can we name areas as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think mine would be based around Leyendale in Elden Ring, because there's like it's like, in my opinion, it's like one of the prettiest areas in the game, and like there's like dragons and like it's royal and all that stuff, you know. So I think something based around that, where you like maybe loop around the dragon or fly under a dragon or something, that would be pretty cool.
It is very pretty.
Yeah, it is. Poison swamp themed water park? Ain't no way.
That's
No,
disgusting.
no. No.
I can't. Awesome. So I feel like with our timing, we're probably gonna get through like 2 or 3 more answers, or 3 more questions. So starting us off with this next one, meta-based, is going to be: do you think the magic of Souls games can be replicated? And starting us off with this is going to be Goose.
That's a tough one because I know there are a lot of like Souls themed games out there that kind of have the same idea, the same mechanics, like Neo and Lies of P and those types of games. But I just don't think there's something about playing a FromSoft game that just, I don't know. Like I don't think I could go into a game like Lies of P or Neo and have like that same wonder and just amazement as I do with FromSoft. There's just something about it. I don't know. I can't really describe it. So I don't think you can really replicate that type of magic that the original traditional Souls games have.
Yeah. Awesome. Draco?
Yeah, I kind of agree with what Goose said. As I mentioned at the start, I've played a lot of Souls-likes in addition to like the core FromSoft games. And I think that the biggest, I don't want to call, for lack of a better word, the biggest failing of most Souls-likes is trying to be Dark Souls rather than embracing their own identity. Like I often say that Another Crab's Treasure is unironically one of the better Souls-likes because instead of trying to be Dark Souls, it's just kind of its own silly thing. And just being itself helps differentiate it. Because yeah, I mean, let's look at the industry as a whole. Games are going to usually have like a blueprint that they work off of. Like platformers are going to work off of Mario. Metroidvanias are going to work off of Symphony of the Night and Super Metroid. Souls-likes are going to work off of Dark Souls. But how they take that blueprint and make it their own is what helps to kind of make these games more memorable. But I only think in recent years have they really started to get it, because things like Lies of P, Another Crab's Treasure, and Kazan have all done well for themselves, but it's because they've kind of more embraced their own identity, whereas something like Code Vein or Mortal Shell or Thymesia, it's like, yeah, you can tell they're just trying to kind of be Dark Souls light. So I think Dark Souls is one of those things that's often imitated but never duplicated.
Yeah, I like that answer. For me, like this is my only Souls experience. But I know that there's lots of different ones that are like within the Souls universe, Souls-like, all of the things that go into it. Like, I believe Jen right now is playing like Jedi Fallen Order or some type of Star Wars game, and it's classified as a Souls-like, and I was just like, I would have never thought of that. And then you were just talking about like a crab game, and I'm just like, I have no idea what that is, but I want to know. And so I feel like it's gonna be fun to explore into more of the Souls-like games and see like how I can be like, oh yeah, this ties into this, or like this is very similar to this. And then even us in our group chat, we were talking about like moving from Dark Souls 1 to Dark Souls 2, and like it's very different as far as gameplay. And I feel like I don't really feel like I'm answering my own question. Like, do I think it can be replicated? I feel like people are gonna try, and I like that there is a series and then there are like the spin-offs, because I believe that both Bloodborne and Elden Ring are like separate storylines. Okay, yes, I see nodding. Beautiful.
Yep.
I have picked up on enough to learn. So
Just a small thing. Technically, the 3 Dark Souls games are the only ones that are officially like related to each other.
Mhm.
Demon Souls, Sekiro, Bloodborne, and Elden Ring are all kind of their own things.
Okay. Yeah, so I feel like I don't necessarily have enough experience to fully answer this question, because Dark Souls is all I have experienced. But I'm excited to dive into more and see what happens, and, you know, compare and look back and reminisce on my youth whenever that is.
I just want to say, Candy, I would love to watch you play another Crab's Treasure.
You really did.
I think you would like it.
Another Crab's Treasure.
Like,
I have to write this down.
I
It's
put it
much
in
more.
the group chat.
Oh,
Yeah,
beautiful. Okay.
It's much more lighthearted and funny, and yeah,
It's cute.
Yeah.
It's by
And it's
the
got
people
lots
that made it.
of ocean puns.
Yes.
I love puns.
There's-
It's
they
my favorite type of
actually-
humor.
Aggro Crab has a channel in their Discord where it's just called Crab, and you can only post crab. That's it.
Just like the emo.
Like,
Same
the
team that did
developers
Peak,
are
by
really
the way.
cool. Play their game. Do it.
Alrighty, so Glue, how do you feel? Do you think that the magic of Souls games can be replicated?
So I think one of the things that people think about when they think about a Souls game or a Souls-like is that it's unforgiving. So I'm going to reference Expedition 33. A lot of people were saying that was a Souls-like when it first came out, which this is one of my favorite games in the entire world, but I don't think it's a Souls-like. I think people were so connected to it and felt like it was one, because it is an unforgiving game and because it's very immersive. So I feel like those two things make like a really good Souls-like, but the IP specifically, I don't think it can really be emulated. I think people just get really attached to unforgiving immersive games.
Yeah, I get that. One of the biggest reasons that I've started my Souls journey, A, Jen, but B, also, my fiance was like, he has a number on how many hours he thinks it's going to take me to play and beat the game, how many times I'm going to die, and he's like the 3rd highest guess on the amount of deaths, and I'm just like, all right, hold my beer. And now that like I'm playing it, he's like, I could do it in less. I'm like, I'd like to see you try. And it's very much like this kind of, he thinks that he can do it because I'm doing it type of thing, and it's motivating me to do even better. And so I feel like that plays into part of like it being replicated, because the closest he's got, he's like, I played Elden Ring for an hour, I got this. And I'm like, I don't know if that counts. So sorry, that was just a little side story. Mello, how do you feel about this?
I feel that Souls games in themselves are weirdly like specific to their own. They have like their own right to themselves. I want to do the same as Blue and compare it, maybe not to Expedition 33, but more to Lies of P. I got like a lot of recommendation based on that game because it was more parry based, like Sekiro is, for example. And when I went into that game, it's like, oh, it's a good Souls-like. Everybody recommends it, and I just feel like there wasn't like that sense of, how do you say it, forgiveness when you like want to learn a boss. It feels like a lot of the bosses were just hard for being hard, you know. They just like, here's a hard boss, deal with it. It didn't feel like you were progressing at any point, and when you were done, you was like, oh, okay. With Souls games, you're like, oh, I actually know what I'm doing. I learned the movesets. I know what the boss is doing. I know sometimes the camera can be some kind of annoyance, but in the end, you learn how to adapt to log on, log off, you know. So I feel like a certain amount of satisfaction with that. So I feel like that makes Souls games stand out way more than the other games do. But in their own right, they're like really good games.
Absolutely, yeah. And to end this question, AJ?
Yeah, I think what everybody said is a pretty good, I guess, description of, you know, how we look at Souls games now. I mean, there's definitely, piggybacking off of what Goose was saying, there's definitely a novelty to the Souls games, in that you're just like, okay, I know this is going to be like an immersive experience, very cryptic, you know, maybe has some things that sort of, you know, piss you off, but for the most part, it is sort of this like mysterious, like, what place am I getting that into next? And going off of what Draco was saying, like, you do sort of look at these games that are trying to be Souls-like, or, you know, akin to the Souls genre, and that you're just like, okay, you're doing this, but are you executing it well? Are you making it your own? Are you doing this for the sake of wanting to be your own thing, or are you doing this for the sake of wanting to just sort of be lumped into this, you know, this classification of game that we all come to enjoy? And I don't know, it's just something about, it's like there's just an authenticity to the Souls games that, you know, you're getting a solid product, and Miyazaki's gonna, you know, wear the hell out of the QA in the QC to make sure everything's right. Other than, you know, just people are going to find ways to break it anyway. But, you know, it's just a really solid experience, other than the camera. And yeah, there's just a feel about it that it's hard to mimic, really. And the Expedition 33, I do remember seeing comparisons to that. I see that more akin to like a Legend of Dragoon or Final Fantasy X.
It's definitely JRPG Final Fantasy.
Yeah. So I mean, like, and they even mentioned that it's more of like they took more inspiration from old school RPGs. So Legend of Dragoon did it first. So that was the active turn based. And yeah, I mean, there are some bosses in that game you're just like, holy shit, this is tough. But I think it's just more so like the feeling of actually being able to overcome and get the parry right, get the attacks right, and, you know, strategize. And I think that's more so just the fulfillment of actually overcoming that challenge. So
Yes. Well,
I think a really unique thing about Souls, like, you know, the FromSoft Souls games, the boss fights, is that no boss fight's the same. And so each time you have to adapt, like, your play style, and you can't beat every boss the same way. So I really enjoy that aspect of it too.
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty, so that does kind of take us into our last question. This is going to be a repeat that I have done in every single episode so far. So Goose, this is the one that's familiar to you, and if you've watched the VOD, you know. But we're gonna start off with Draco. If you could take any NPC to a karaoke bar, who are you taking, and what song are they singing?
Oh, well, this is tough because I am not the kind of person who would ever be in karaoke. I definitely don't like singing. I don't think my voice is one that's made for singing, but yeah. Let me think for a sec. Okay. If I had to pick one, I would say maybe Nefeli Liu from Elden Ring, and I think I'd have her sing something maybe from like In This Moment, like like blood maybe, and because I feel like her being like a warrior, she'd really be able to belt out those screams.
I love it. I don't know who that is, but I can't wait to meet them.
One day you will meet them if you choose to
Yes.
continue on your journey.
Absolutely. So my answer has changed every time because I get to think about this in between every session. But my answer just came to my head as I was asking. I think this time, for this trip to my karaoke bar with my NPC, I would be taking both Ornstein and Smoke, and to bounce off of what's popular right now and what I'm currently obsessed with, the three of us would sing Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters.
Oh my god. Yes.
Because they're already golden, so we're halfway there. So that's my answer this time. Glue, who are you taking with you?
I'd probably take Gwyn and make him sing his own theme, but vocalizing the instrument. Just the entire thing. So
majestic.
Plin, 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 over and like, yeah, it would just be that. That's it.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
It would be fun.
I'm sure someone can do it with like someone in cosplay. We'll get them to do it. Mello, who are you taking with you?
So I'm thinking I would take Onion Bro, like Siegmeyer from Dark Souls 3, and I would make him sing "Drunk in the Morning" with Lucas Graham with me. I feel like that would be appropriate in terms of he gives you like a certain item when you help him in that game.
All right. I like it. I think multiple people have said Onion Bro. Some people talked about it because of like the kind of echo that is in his helmet. It would make for some good like reverb. So AJ, who are you taking with you?
I've got two actually that come to mind. Probably Solaire. I'd take him and we'd sing "Down Under" by Men at Work. And I feel like that'd be pretty comical. And then Ronnie from Elden Ring, and just some sort of love song because she's the queen.
All right.
Maybe some sort of like Whitney Houston.
Ghost, who are you taking with you? Do you remember who you took last time?
I do. Last time I took Henri because in my playthrough of Dark Souls 3, I had this fantasy of shipping my character with him, and I was devastated that I never got to finish his quest line. And so it would have been Someone Like You by Adele. So, but I just now thought of like, this is like really weird and but I would take Melina and we'd sing Watch the World Burn by Falling in Reverse.
Okay.
All right.
Choice. A little on the nose, but I like it.
Yes.
Well, alrighty, friends. That is it for our panel. We are going to take an opportunity, shameless plug away. Tell us all about you, where we can find you. When do you stream? What do you stream? All the things and all the stuff. I will start us off. Thank you all so much for joining. My name is Candy, Late Night Candy, and I have brought together streamers and content creators from JenIsOnline's stream team, the Firekeepers. And shout out to Jen. Without her, this wouldn't be a thing. And I really like that the opportunity to have this comforting environment and space where I can ask silly questions about Souls games and like show my excitement over a crystal lizard in a Discord. Has never been a thing I thought I would be able to do. And so I'm glad that she has created a space for all of us. I usually stream on Wednesdays and Sundays. I'll do pop-ups like I did today. On Wednesdays, I'm doing my first ever playthrough of Resident Evil. On Sundays, I'm doing my first ever playthrough of Dark Souls 1. So lots of first evers happening over here. And I am Pacific Standard Time based. And that's a little bit about me. So continuing with the order that we've been doing things in, I'm going to mute and like shout out away as you guys go, but we're going to start with Glue and then go in the order we have been. Oh, I think you're muted.
Thanks. Thanks. So I was saying I don't really have a schedule. I just stream when I'm able to. I stream a lot of RuneScape. I love Dark Souls 1. I'm a Neopets affiliate. Yay Neopets. I have a limb difference. I have something called brachydactyly, so I am slowly and baby stepping my way toward the alternate controller kind of world. And right now I've been using my dad's old steering wheel controller from 2001. It's a Logitech steering wheel, and it's just my intro, so I'm gonna like try to get used to that and play a couple different things with that, and then move on to something more complicated, I guess. But yeah, I'm kind of reaching into that world.
I love it. Thank you so much for being here today. Mello, tell us a little bit about you again.
Yes. I primarily do challenge runs in different Souls games. I've done Deathless any percent in Bloodborne and All Millennia run. Because yeah, why not? So the next run I'm doing is I'm gonna do Deathless randomized all 7 great runes in Elden Ring, which I'm starting on Monday. I want to have like a more consistent schedule. I want to stream from like Monday to Thursday and have like the weekend off. But you know, adult stuff, work gets in the way sometimes. So it's maybe not as consistent as I want to, but that's what I'm aiming for. And I want to dip my toes into hitless journeys at some point.
Yes, I'll be excited to see how that goes. And I like that the little shout out even includes your All Millennia in there. So, AJ, tell us about you one more time, my friend.
Yeah, again, my name is AJ. Twitch.tv/hey, it's AJX. I hate that X again. But I have to live with it. But anyway, I typically stream on Sundays from 12 to 5 p.m. EST. Sometimes that's 1 to 4, it just depends. And then on Monday and Wednesday from 7 to 10 p.m. EST. I have an 8-month-old, so my schedule is not my own now. So just whenever I can fit that in. Typically I'll stream a little bit later, but go a little bit later, just how things go. But I'm playing Dark Souls 3 on Sunday and playing spooky games on Monday through Wednesday. Just playing some indie or some major horror games. But in December, I'm going to be playing December, I'm going to be starting a new run of Fallout New Vegas, in which I'm so excited because it's been years since I've played through the whole game. But yeah, that's try to just keep it within those parameters. I used to do a little bit more weekend streams, but now that is no longer what my weekends are dedicated to. So I try to just have as much fun as I can during the week.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your weekend to join us today.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. Goose?
I'm Crazy Grey Goose. I go by Goose on Twitch. I am currently playing my first playthrough of Hollow Knight Silksong. I also am doing the 100 Baby Challenge in The Sims 4, and that's been really, really fun. And I stream on Mondays and Fridays at 7 p.m., Wednesdays at 9 a.m., and Saturdays at 1 p.m. And yeah, I'm gearing up to eventually soon do my first challenge run. I'm going to try to do Bloodborne all bosses in 24 hours or less. I'm just trying to figure out when and muster up the courage to actually do it. So yeah, that's a little bit about me some more. So,
well, thank you so much. And last but not least, Draco.
Hi, I'm Killer Draco. I primarily stream Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday. Monday and Wednesday is 8 p.m. EST. Sunday is 1 p.m. EST because I got to work around my work schedule. although I've had a long history of doing challenge runs, like I mentioned, I did no level runs for all the Souls games, but eventually I started mixing in other things like no guns in Bloodborne or no status in Elden Ring, and then ultimately culminated in no rolling in Dark Souls 2. So that was a fun time. But recently I've been taking a little bit of a step back from the Souls games, and I'm doing what I like to call a sequel arc, where I do first playthroughs of sequels to games that I have previously streamed. That started with doing Final Fantasy X-2, then I moved on to Kingdom Hearts 2. Just recently I finished up Suikoden 2, and right now I'm doing Super Mario Galaxy 2, and once I finish that up, the final game in that sequel arc is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Alright.
But I am planning a return to Souls, which will probably be at the start of 2026, which is probably going to coincide with my 5-year affiliate anniversary, but I haven't quite set everything in stone yet, so look for that to come next year. But for now, especially since Rebirth is supposed to be a long game, right now the focus is sequels.
Very fun. I love it. I love that, you know, we're all a part of the Firekeepers, but we're all very much like different, doing different things with our content, but still tied together through a common thread. So, thank you again all so much for taking the time to join, and of course, like, dealing with me and my weather issues. How dare I not be able to control the weather? I know, I'm the worst. But thank you all so much. We are going to get ready to raid out, so I hope all the rest of you have a wonderful day, and your next stream goes really well.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes,
Always a
bye.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Always is.